The Cleveland Browns situation has officially spiraled out of control, descending from dysfunction into total nuclear chaos. What unfolded in the past 24 hours has left not just fans, but the entire NFL community in shock. This isn't merely about football anymore. It's no longer a matter of playbooks, performance, or even locker room chemistry. It has become deeply personal, fueled by anger, betrayal, and the kind of raw emotion that can end careers and destroy reputations. The spark that set off this explosion wasn't a game or a controversial play. It was Shadur Sanders' mother, Pilar Sanders, stepping forward and launching a public, unfiltered attack on head coach Kevin Stefanski, accusing him of lying about her son's health, manipulating the media, and damaging her son's future in the league. When a player's family goes public, it's a sign that the situation has already hit the point of no return. And in Cleveland, that moment has arrived. For weeks, Browns fans have been watching their team unravel before their eyes. The offense has been lifeless. Dillon Gabriel, who was supposed to steady the ship, looks completely lost, hesitant, indecisive, and painfully out of sync. The team can barely move the chains, let alone win games. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders, a gifted young quarterback drafted with promise and potential, has been buried deep on the bench, treated as if he doesn't even exist. When Pilar Sanders spoke out, she didn't hold back. Her words hit with the force of a sledgehammer, leaving no room for misinterpretation. She claimed her son was perfectly healthy, that he had practiced all week, gone through warm-ups, and was ready to play. She said he had no back injury, no discomfort, no warning, until suddenly, out of nowhere, the coaching staff told him he wouldn't be active for the game. No explanation, no discussion. Just a last-minute decision that blindsided him and left him devastated. And when the inevitable media questions came, instead of admitting it was a coaching choice, Stefanski allegedly fabricated an injury to cover his tracks. The gravity of her words can't be overstated. If what she's saying is true, if Kevin Stefanski really fabricated an injury report, then this isn't just a bad look. It's a full-blown scandal that could destroy trust between players, coaches, and the front office. Injury reports in the NFL aren't trivial. They affect betting lines, fantasy football, and most importantly, player reputations. When a player is listed as injured, it changes how the league, the media, and fans perceive him. It questions his durability and his toughness. It can influence contract talks and future opportunities. So if Shedeur was labeled as hurt when he was actually fine, it's not just a minor miscommunication. It's a character attack disguised as a medical update. And the longer the Browns refuse to clarify it, the worse it looks. Pilar Sanders isn't some inexperienced football parent lashing out emotionally. She's been around this sport her entire adult life. She's seen how organizations operate, how narratives are spun to protect coaches and front offices, and she knows when to speak up. The fact that she's gone public now after weeks of silence means she's done being patient. She's done trusting that the system will correct itself. In her view, the organization crossed the line from politics into deception. Her decision to go public wasn't impulsive. It was deliberate, and that's what makes it so powerful. She's forcing the Browns to answer questions they've spent months avoiding. According to Pilar's account, the week leading up to the Patriots game was completely normal. Shedeur practiced every day. He threw well. He was engaged. He prepared like a professional. At no point did he complain about pain, stiffness, or discomfort. The coaching staff didn't express any concern. Everything indicated that he was ready to suit up as the backup, if not push for more playing time. Then suddenly on Saturday morning, just before the team finalized its game day roster, something changed. Shedeur was informed that Bailey Zapp, elevated from the practice squad, would be the active backup instead. When Shedeur asked why, he reportedly got vague answers. Hours later, after the decision had already been locked in, the back injury narrative appeared out of nowhere. That, according to Pilar, was the moment the Browns decided to protect their story instead of their player. It's one thing to bench a player for strategic reasons. That happens all the time. But to fabricate an injury, that's the kind of move that erodes every ounce of trust within an organization. If the Browns did this, they didn't just betray one player, they betrayed the entire locker room. Players need to know their coaching staff is honest. Once that's gone, everything else collapses. And that's exactly what's happening now. Reports suggest that ownership, led by Jimmy Haslam, is furious. He's demanding answers because what Stefanski told him doesn't match what's coming out from the Sanders camp. That means someone's lying. And when it comes down to a coach versus a player's family, especially one with Deion Sanders in it, the spotlight gets hotter by the minute. Pilar's timing makes this even more devastating for the Browns. She didn't lash out in the heat of the moment. She waited. She confirmed details. She let the organization's story take shape, and then she dismantled it piece by piece. That's why her accusations hit so hard. This isn't emotion, it's calculation, and it's working. Sports talk shows, national analysts, and even former NFL players are weighing in, with many admitting they've seen similar tactics before. Coaches manipulating injury reports to save face or justify controversial decisions. It's a dirty secret in football, and now it's being dragged into the light. The ripple effects are massive. If Pilar is telling the truth, then Stefanski's credibility is finished. Players will never trust him again. Free agents will think twice before coming to Cleveland, and ownership will have to make an impossible choice, protect their head coach or admit they've been misled. But the damage may already be done. Even if Stefanski stays, his authority has been shattered. Every player now knows that the narrative can be twisted at any moment, and no one wants to play for a coach who values control over honesty. The fallout for Shedeur is equally complex. Before this, he could play the part of the quiet professional, humble, patient, waiting for his chance. But now that his family has gone public, that dynamic is gone. The relationship between him and the coaching staff is broken beyond repair. Even if he wanted to stay quiet, the narrative is already out there. The Browns can't walk this back. He'll either need a fresh start with a new coaching staff or a trade to a team that actually believes in him. And after this, it's hard to imagine him wanting to stay in Cleveland or the Browns wanting to deal with this cloud hanging over them. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Sanders, quiet but powerful, is watching. He knows this game better than anyone. He understands how perception shapes careers, and you can bet he's advising his son on how to handle the storm, likely already exploring what comes next if this relationship can't be repaired. Pilar's decision to speak out may have just forced that conversation to the forefront, because once the family goes public, there's no pretending things are fine anymore. The Browns have now backed themselves into a corner. If they admit Stefanski lied, they're admitting to a massive ethical breach. If they deny it, they're calling the Sanders family liars. Either way, this isn't going away quietly. The media has latched onto it, fans are demanding transparency, and ownership is under pressure to act. For an organization that's already been synonymous with dysfunction, this is yet another black mark. It's the latest chapter in a franchise defined by controversy, mismanagement, and squandered potential. As of now, Cleveland stands at a crossroads. Kevin Stefanski's job is hanging by a thread. Shedeur's future is uncertain. The locker room is fractured, and the Sanders family has made it clear they're not backing down until the truth comes out. The coming days will determine everything, whether the Browns can restore any shred of credibility or whether this scandal becomes the defining moment that sends the entire organization into another painful rebuild.